Hi, I'm John Olson. Welcome to Next Stop from the Emerald City. Welcome to Seattle, home of Alaska Airlines. On Next Stop, we'll be traveling all over the globe featuring Alaska Airlines and its partners' destinations. Next Stop is all about where to go, what to do, and how to do it. On this episode, we'll take you high above the Emerald City and we'll feature one of the busiest restaurants in the world. We'll also take you underneath the streets of Seattle for a bit of Seattle's historical past. We board a float plane over to the San Juans, and hopefully we'll see some whales. We'll bring you big-time college sports, and our featured band on this episode, the local favorite, Occam's Razor. The fun starts now. In Seattle, they love their sports. They have the Mariners, they have the Seahawks, they have the world champion Storm, and they have the beloved Huskies. The Nebraska Cornhuskers are in town to take on the Huskies. It's a big-time college football game. Big-time college football means big-time tailgating. We're in the zone. Let's get our game on. Nice.
Dogs in the house, dogs in the house, who? Dogs in the house, dogs in the house, who?
I've been to a lot of parties, I've tapped a lot of kegs, been to a lot of tailgates, but I've never seen beer poured like this. What is going on here?
We're filling beers through the bottom.
How does that work?
It's got a little magnetic disc in the bottom of the cup. It comes up, the beer goes in, the cup comes up and seals it back off.
That is amazing technology. Who invented this?
I invented it.
You did?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Wow. This is really cool. Husky or Husker fan?
I gotta go Husky.
Look at the sea of red out here, and purple.
Amazing.
What do you think about this?
Well, I'm not a big fan of the sea of red, which I don't know why you're wearing red, by the way, but I'm a big fan of the sea of purple. This is a great atmosphere here at Husky Stadium. You know, the Dogs are a different team at home, as you know, than they are on the road. Huskies looking for their first bowl game in 7 years, and the fans they're hungry, they're ready. They've been waiting and biding their time. They've been paying their dues, and it's time now to get this stadium back to what it used to be and make some noise on a big day with Nebraska in town today.
So we found our youngest Husky fan. He wants to play ball right now. He doesn't really want to do the interview, but what's your name, buddy? Carson Church. And what's your name?
My name is Ryan.
Ryan, welcome to Next Stop Seattle Edition. Husker game today. Is this his first game?
It's not his first game. He was here last week to see the Dogs pick up a win against Syracuse.
Awesome.
And he was here last year when we beat USC on my shoulders on the field.
I'm a Husker fan. This guy, though, is the real Husker fan. This is the real Herbie Husker.
Yeah, hello. It's great to be in the great state of Washington, and proves that God's a Husker fan. Look at this weather.
This is unbelievable, isn't it?
Isn't it?
So how did you get into this thing? I mean, up there, obviously, you look like the mascot.
People told me I look like him. I got the bibs and put on the hat, and I've been doing this since the 90s.
Go Big Red, buddy.
You bet.
You're obviously a Husky fan.
You got it. Yep.
Born and raised here?
Yeah, went to the UW, ran track here, and now we're together.
We've got a house divided.
It's not so bad because we get along. We find a way to make it work.
This is the coolest shirt I've seen all day. But where do you get the shirt like this? Because I totally want one.
I made it.
You did?
Yeah, I made it.
You're a seamstress.
On the side, yeah.
Okay, so you got both going on here. Who are you rooting for today?
I'm rooting for the Cornhuskers.
Husky Stadium is an awesome place to watch a game. Very loud, very passionate fans. We loved it. But one of my favorite things about coming to a game at Husky Stadium is this. Outside the stadium, this is how they tailgate. I like the way they roll here. Definitely put the Husky game on your Seattle itinerary. When Next Stop returns, we soar above the beautiful Emerald City and up to the San Juan Islands with Kenmore Air. Seattle's one of the most beautiful cities in the world, an urban metropolis defined by lakes and seashore and surrounded by spectacular snow-capped mountains. Now, there's lots of ways to see Seattle and the surrounding area. You can do it by foot, in your car, by rail, by boat, Or you can choose our method. We're going up with Kenmore Air today, Alaska Airlines' newest travel partner, for a city seaplane tour, and then we'll head straight over to the San Juan Islands, a place I've always wanted to go. Just arrived in Friday Harbor, the commercial and cultural hub of San Juan Island. What a great day we had today. A Kenmore Air trip over downtown Seattle and the surrounding area, and then a short jaunt over to the San Juan Islands. Let's go get checked into our hotel and learn more about this beautiful town of Friday Harbor.
This is a very, very unique inn. Has 23 rooms. It's a perfect for romantic getaway, for vacation, for weddings. Each room has a fireplace, and each room has a jacuzzi tub in there. It's just spectacular. And then you're just looking from this, and then looking behind me. It's like you're looking from the room and seeing the waterfront, the marina. It's just spectacular. It just makes the day. When you see the sunset like that, in the morning when you get out, have a cup of coffee in your hand, it's just an unbelievable feeling.
The waterway is right here. This is the freeway for you. You can either fly or you can boat. This is such a cool way to get around. San Juans are beautiful.
Exactly. You can fly in with Kenmore Air as well as using the Washington State Ferry.
Well, thank you for hosting us here. We actually have been working all day. We've had a very long day, and the crew's hungry.
I tell you, you have a treat tonight. I'm going to turn over to Chef Matt. He's going to present you a nice evening meal over here.
Sony told us you had something special prepared for us. This looks pretty darn special.
Well, I did a couple things off the menu, and then something that we're running as a special tonight. Try to change up the specials every day, every 2 days.
Whatever your mood is.
Yeah, depending on what's coming in from the waters, what vendors are coming up or are local here on the islands.
What came in today?
Salmon, local salmon from these waters. Fishermen come in every couple days.
The salmon looks great, but this looks really different and unique.
Yes, this is local pork from Jones Family Farm. It's barbecue bourbon pork on sticky buns. So it's a little Japanese spin, French fries, and then a little bit of an Asian slaw, carrots, a couple different cabbages, and then a sweet chili dressing.
How long have you been at Friday Harbor?
Getting on 2 months now.
So you're new?
Yes, I'm relatively new. I came out for the busy summer season and have loved it.
San Juan Safaris and Kenmore Air have teamed up to offer the ultimate whale watching excursion here in Friday Harbor. I got my jacket, got my hat, got my sunglasses. Let's hope we have whales.
Welcome aboard and welcome to Friday Harbor. Friday Harbor is the biggest town here in the San Juan Islands. San Juan Island is also the most populated island. We have about 8,000 people that live here year-round. So we have about 16,000 year-round residents, most of them living on San Juan Island. But we have 4 main islands that are served by the ferry. These islands are national wildlife refuges or state and county parks, and many of them are privately owned or do have small year-round populations, anywhere from 2 to 100 people living on them. We have 2 different races or 2 different communities of orca that will be in the San Juan Islands from time to time. The southern resident community is a salmon-eating orca. They mainly eat Chinook, or it's also known as king salmon. And so they come through here very frequently, starting the end of April through the beginning of October, because that's when the salmon runs are. Ruffles has a wavy dorsal fin, just like a Ruffles potato chip, so he's really easy to tell apart.
Nicely named. Now, the oldest female, you said that you're estimated 99 years old?
That's what the estimates are for her.
Wow. That's amazing. I didn't know they lived that long. Oh, there's Ruffles.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a huge guy.
Awesome.
Everybody loves him. He's so easy to tell apart.
He's huge, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay, so this is at least J-Pod.
Who named him? And why? Is it JKL?
We have JK and L. Yeah, and there's an A pod and a B pod, so they started with A and moved their way up the alphabet.
started our day yesterday in Lake Union with Kenmore Air with a beautiful float plane tour over Seattle, which was amazing. And today, whale watching, which was truly one of the most amazing experiences we've had, all thanks to you, Craig.
Well, I can't take too much credit for that. The whales do what the whales do.
But you set this up
great
for us.
partners up there, and it sounds like you had a great trip.
Now, speaking of partnership, you guys just partnered with Alaska Airlines.
That's right. Yeah.
Which was a great reason for us to jump on Kenmore Air and go up to the San Juans.
Well, I think it's made our service known and attractive to a lot more people, and we're just delighted with the partnership.
Well, you hooked us up the last 24 hours. What great memories we made. We're going to come to you the next time.
Well,
and now we're back in Seattle. We're at our Seattle home, now the Homewood Suites, getting ready for the rest of our Seattle shoots. And I have an invitation for you.
All right.
Because you're Irish, right?
Well,
Neil?
the name would suggest that, yeah.
Are you a fan of Irish music?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, so Saturday night, we're filming Occam's Razor at the Owl and Thistle. They are a rockin' Irish band. Come down, we'll buy you a pint, say thanks for all your help on this one, and hopefully we'll see you Saturday night.
Well, that sounds like a great deal. Thanks.
Cool. Cheers. The Seattle cheers with coffee.
Right.
They say it only rains twice a year in Seattle, January through August and September through December. But actually, it doesn't rain that much. It only rains about 38 inches a year. Temps rarely go above 80 and rarely dip below 40. Sure, there's some cloudy days like this, but it allows you to be creative. You can find fun things to do at visitseattle.org. Up next, a bird's eye view of Seattle from the Space Needle, and we'll visit Seattle's historical past. The Seattle Monorail is the nation's first full-scale commercial monorail system, offering a quick, fun, and convenient link from downtown Seattle to Seattle Center and back. The 1 mile stretch takes about 2 minutes and is open from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. Next stop, Seattle Center. The Space Needle is Seattle's most recognized landmark. In fact, it's one of the most recognized landmarks in the U.S. There's 848 steps from the bottom to the top, which you can take if you're feeling like a workout, or you can chill like us and take the elevator. Next stop, observation deck. We are high above the Space Needle on the observation deck. We got Dave here, who's the marketing manager. Before we talk about this incredible view, let's talk about why the Space Needle was built.
Well, we were built in 1962 as the centerpiece of the World's Fair, 605 feet tall and solid as steel, and it's made out of steel, so I guess that's easy.
Solid as steel? Like it. The view, man. You get to do this every day.
Yeah, I've been here for 14 years, and I never get tired of it. This is Elliott Bay in Puget Sound. Seattle's home to one of the largest ferry systems in the world. What's great about this part of the country is that you can go out there in the morning and catch salmon during the proper season, then come back into work.
Now, I heard that there was a practical joke played on April Fool's Day. Tell us about that.
There was a show that had joked that the needle had fallen over.
Right.
In fact, the story goes that there was a gentleman that lived over in Spokane whose daughter happened to work here, and he was worried about her, so he drove over to make sure that she was okay.
He believed it. What's your favorite thing about Seattle?
My favorite thing about Seattle, as you can tell from my physique here, is probably the food. Seattle's got amazing seafood and great wine in this region, of course, and we got a great restaurant just 20 feet below us that I know we're going to see later on.
We're going to check that out. What are we going to do down there?
We're probably going to hang out.
Famous.
Yeah, it is world famous. In fact, we just won an award. We were the 2009 Washington Wine Restaurant of the Year.
Congratulations.
So we're going to meet. Thank you very much. We're going to meet up with Executive Chef Jeff Maxfield, and he's going to let you come in the kitchen and mess around a little bit.
With Executive Chef Jeff, which rhymes, here at Sky City. Now, I'm told you're one of the most serious chefs in Seattle. Don't mess around with you.
That's right, don't mess around. At Sky City, we focus on Northwest ingredients. We really want to highlight what the Northwest is famous for. Dungeness crab, it's a take on the home-style mac and cheese. Dungeness crab, Orca pasta. One of our other kind of unique items that we do as a starter here. This is a flatbread. It's an unleavened flatbread. We use shepherd's grain whole wheat flour from Eastern Washington. We've got an organic egg baked right on top. I'm going to put you to work. We're going to do two of our signature dishes. So this is a butter sauce. It's a beurre rouge. So it's a take on a classic sauce. Everybody kind of knows beurre blanc. This is beurre rouge. It just means red butter. What we're going to do, this is just a little bit of that right on the bottom of the plate. These are locally grown banana fingerling potatoes. And behind you, the finest Northwest salmon. Look at that.
Huh?
That's awesome.
Who said I couldn't cook?
All right, John, we saved the best for last.
I thought we were done. Whoa!
This is the 1962 original, our lunar orbiter. Snoqualmie Gourmet ice cream.
Oh my
Over
God.
chocolate sauce and dry ice. How's everything tasting?
It's amazing.
Awesome.
And I think that's going to top it off. It's going to be the perfect ending. The Seattle Underground was founded absolutely unintentionally. It speaks to Seattle's past, some of it good, some of it just a little bit racy. I'm intrigued, aren't you?
Welcome to Seattle's Underground Tour. The tour was started on Memorial Day weekend, 1965, when Bill Spidell, who was a local newspaperman, noticed they were tearing down buildings in the neighborhood, calling them old Victorian eyesores. He wanted to preserve our history. When they put the sidewalks in, they installed skylights so that people could continue to do business down here during the day. We were unsure for a while if this was the original glass. The reason is that one of our old guides from the 60s used to tell a story about young men gathering down here, working ladies standing up there, prices of their services on the bottoms of their shoes, waiting for the business up top.
Interesting.
And she would refer to this as them selling their souls. Was the joke. So the first toilets that came to Seattle were distributed by a man from Chelsea, England named Thomas A. Crapper. Invented what he called Thomas A. Crapper's wonderful valveless waterways preventive device. Which is a lot to say when you gotta go.
That is a
You can
lot.
have an accident. So we shortened to the Crapper, but there was a strange pipe coming out the back. You looked at the instructions. It says, attach pipe to city sewer system. Right? They looked in the box for a city sewer system. They didn't have one. In the 1880s, Seattle decided to take a census, an occupation survey. They wanted to find out how many people were living here and what they were doing. They got back 25,000 census forms. 2,400, about 10%, listed themselves as being young, single women. All of them listed their occupation as being either seamstress or garment worker. They thought this was a bit fishy. I decided to have an investigation into it. After 6 weeks of exhaustive research, they determined that there was not a single sewing machine in the entire area.
Oh my God, what did they do?
It led them to suppose that they must have been doing a lot of the work by hand. Okay, nobody gets it who's not supposed to. Thank you guys so much for coming on the Underground Tour. And I hope you learned something and had some fun. If you want to learn anything more about any of our tours, please visit our website at www.undergroundtour.com.
Coming up, lively Irish tunes with local favorites, Occam's Razor. Seattle is loaded with great bands, and we chose Occam's Razor for our featured band on their inaugural episode of Next Stop Seattle.
All along there is somebody else. She's always there to quench my need, no thought for herself. She had met my heart just inflamed with stinging velvet touch, with cold whiskey Jane. How much longer can I take this hunger in my head? As long as it takes till I can get cold whiskey in my bed. She is always waiting, just one step around the bend. She's so intoxicating, she's my addiction and best friend. All alone there is somebody else. She's always there to quench my need, no thought for herself. She can't let my heart just inflame the stinging velvet touch with cold whiskey Jane.
And you're switching instruments all the time, Chris.
Well, so do these two. It's just we're very simplified at the moment. But Tom plays mandolin and banjo as well as guitar.
And you look the part. You look like a band straight out of Dublin. Especially you.
The leprechaun with the thyroid problem.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk about your music because it is fun. The crowd was going crazy. Your music is a blast.
Thank you.
Is it fun to play?
Absolutely. It's always fun for me to play because it's music that I grew up listening to.
There's no way out, there's no turning back. How many miles will pass quickly, the world tied to my back? My heart on the wheel, my foot on the brakes. How many nights will pass before I can weather my mistakes? All along there was somebody else. She's always there to quench my need with no thought for herself. She had that my heart's just a flame, the stinging velvet touch of cold whiskey Jane.
Chris, I have a question for you. This, did it hurt?
Not as badly as some of the other ones.
Whoa! I won't ask you to show. Let's talk about
all above the neck. It's all above the neck.
Oh, it's all above the neck.
Yeah.
And here's the... Okay, well, we'll leave it at that for now. We might go deeper in there in a minute. We're in Seattle.
Yes.
What are your favorite things about Seattle?
The people. The climate. I don't care that it rains all winter long. The summers here are phenomenal. You get like 90-degree weather for a week, and then you're right back to 70s. There's such a love of music here. So as a musician, you really feel appreciated and respected here.
Whiskey Jane.
Thanks for tuning in to our inaugural episode of Next Stop from the gorgeous Emerald City of Seattle, Washington. Thanks also to our title sponsors and good friends, Alaska Airlines. Thanks to Craft Brewers Alliance, London Influence, and Latitudes. We'll see you next time on Next Stop. Where will we take you next? Make good memories, everybody. They say it only rains twice a year in Seattle, January through December. That's the whole year. Okay.
Well, you know, a lot of people know Seattle for Starbucks and Nordstrom and REI and Microsoft across the way, but we're also a big hi, baby.
Flipper. Hi, I'm John Olson, and welcome to Next Stop from the Rose City. Portland, Oregon is one of the more colorful, vibrant cities in the United States. In fact, it was just named the city for the best food of any city in the world. They also have the most breweries of any city in the country, and we dive into that fact on this episode of Next Stop. We also set sail on the Columbia, we'll introduce you to some of the colorful locals, and we feature Floater, a band that absolutely rocked the house. The fun starts now. Beer is a culture in Portland. It's not just a drink. In fact, it's been dubbed Beervana by beer enthusiasts from all over the world. And for good reason. Portland has more breweries than any other city in the country. Let's explore this further at the Woodmere Oktoberfest. Very honored to be joined by two of the fathers of Portland breweries, the city with the most breweries in the country. Take us back to the 70s, Kurt and Rob. What was going on in your world that made you want to get into beer?
We were homebrewers, strictly homebrewers in the 70s, so no aspirations to take it beyond homebrewing.
Now, you went to Germany for a couple of years.
I did. I lived in Germany in the mid-70s.
Tell us about that. What'd you learn?
Actually, living there and in it for a couple of years, I came to appreciate where beer actually fits in the great scheme of things.
So then you came back to Portland, and you convinced your brother to quit what he was doing and join you, right?
Well, when I came back, that's when we started homebrewing. We both started doing that. We did that for about 5 years.
Coincidentally, we weren't under the same roof, or that was serendipity is that we both started homebrewing about the same time.
So look at this today. Would you ever dream back in the late 70s, early 80s that you'd have something like this today?
No, an event like this, it's so great. I mean, this is Portland. There's a reason why Portland is the number one beer city in the whole Western Hemisphere.
So when you think of Oktoberfest, especially when you spell it with a K, you think of Germany. Constance is from Germany. We found her. She actually found us. Willkommen. So Oktoberfests are a big, big deal in Germany. What do you think of our little Oktoberfest here?
I really love it. It's like very cool and it's bigger than I expected.
Is it bigger than you expected?
It's really bigger than I expected.
Now, how about the beer? How do you like the beer compared to German beer?
It depends. Like, if you drink the pills and stuff, it's very similar to the German. stuff, but I know people, like my friends, they drink very hoppy beer, which is different and a little bit stronger.
Question for you on Portland trivia. How did Portland get its name?
I think it's a very simple question.
It is a simple question. It was either by a guy named Port, it was a coin flip, or it was from a sea captain who was in here on port.
Coin flip.
Are you sure?
Flip.
Yeah. You're correct. How many different beers are there in Portland?
A lot.
Yeah, I know a lot, but how many do you think?
More than enough. Heck yeah! Heck yeah! Heck yeah! I would say 20 or 30. I would say 28.
You win. 351.
Oh, wow. 300.
Outside is rock and rolling right now, but Rob brought me inside to this special room to taste some special beers out of special glasses. Yep. We were talking about that. When you drink wine, you drink Pinot out of a nice Pinot glass, or Cabernet out of a Cabernet glass. Most people don't think about drinking beer out of the right glass.
With craft beers, there is so much nuance that if you drink out of a bottle, it's really kind of like looking your nose and eating something. You know, you're gonna miss a lot.
Yeah.
Of it. So this is a German beer from a town called Goslar. This is called a Goza. It's very low alcohol, so this is a great daily session style beer. This uses a hop called Citra hop, which has a grapefruit character. And so we decided, well, okay, that's good, but why don't we add some grapefruit rind to this beer? So this has a very grapefruity character.
It totally does.
Pretty typical Pacific Northwest IPA. Hops are grown right here. Most of this character is from this hop.
Native Oregonians like to boast they never use an umbrella. What they mean is they rarely use an umbrella because, after all, what's a little rain anyway? And when it does rain, it's usually a light mist. Portland only gets 38 inches of rain annually, less than New York City. So it's pretty safe to say when you come to Portland, you can leave your umbrella at home. But if you need one, just come down to Pioneer Square. This guy's got one for you. Coming up on Next Stop, we take a stroll through downtown Portland with Mayor Sam Adams, and we'll introduce you to some colorful locals at a neighborhood festival. Portland, Oregon has the largest wooded city park in America, Forest Park, covering over 5,000 square acres. It also has the smallest park in the world, Mill Ends Park, created in 1948 on St. Patrick's Day to be the only leprechaun colony west of Ireland. Might explain why Portland has a killer St. Patrick's Day festival, one I always like to attend. This park makes me feel big. Portland is truly one of the most vibrant cities in the country. Lots of changes, lots of growth. Who better to talk about the growth than the Honorable Mayor of Portland, Sam Adams?
Hi, John. How are you?
Welcome to Next Stop.
I'm glad to be here.
What a beautiful city. What a beautiful Pioneer Square. Tell us about this place. This is the center of the city, right?
Yeah, this is Pioneer Courthouse Square is known as the living room for Portland. And right behind us, the Decemberists are getting ready to play at one of our annual music concerts here in the square.
Now, you guys have lots of things happening here in the square year-round, right?
Yeah, rain or shine, there's something going on here in Portland's living room, Pioneer Square.
How is Portland changing right now? There's lots of growth happening. Some of the streets are kind of torn up, but it's all for good reasons.
That's right. We've got a whole new extension of our streetcar. We're about to break ground on an extension of light rail. The other big changes in Portland is that we're becoming a more diverse city, racially, ethnically, and I think that's great. I think it makes us a more interesting, a stronger city, more creative city.
Portland was just voted the #1 food city, not just in the Northwest, not just in the U.S., in the world.
Our food cart scene is really grassroots. It started on its own. We have about 500 food carts in the city of Portland.
So you're #1 in beer, #1 in food. We've tried the beer, but we haven't tried the food.
Wait till you try it.
Let's go. It's lunchtime.
All right.
So this is pretty much where it all started.
This is exactly where it all started. And as you can see, the focus is on the food, not necessarily the furnishings or the surroundings.
That's great, though. And now this food cart, I understand, won the most exotic food cart in Portland, which would mean the most exotic food cart in the world, right?
This is a fantastic food cart, and I recommend the You Can Has It cheeseburger.
It is a quarter-pound Black Angus burger. It's in between 2 grilled cheese sandwiches as buns. It comes with fresh lettuce, tomato, grilled onions. 1,000 patty melt is what's famous around the country, and this is just kind of our take on it here in Portland. Sam, John, you can have cheeseburgers. All right. Wow.
Oh my goodness, that's good. That is a burger to die for.
I cannot think of a more beautiful day to visit downtown Portland. The food carts come in all shapes and sizes. We have a pretty pink one here.
Very pink.
And we got Big A sandwiches. Now, I understand this place has a sandwich named after you.
Ah, it's true. And it's quite a sandwich from what I've heard. I've never actually had the opportunity to taste it until today.
You haven't?
No, I'm so
You're
happy
doing it on
to
Next
be
Stop.
here.
Hey, John.
How are you?
Pleasure. Good to see you. Pleasure.
Nice
So
to
Sam
meet
and I were debating Big A sandwiches with 2 asterisks. I'm thinking it stands for Ash, since the Ash Street Saloon's across the street.
It's art, right? Big art sandwiches.
Big sandwiches.
Ash.
Sandwiches.
Hey. So speaking of big sandwiches, you guys have the Sam app. We do. What's on that?
Ham, turkey, Miracle Whip on our ciabatta roll.
How did you guys get into this business?
We wanted to open a restaurant, but economically, this was a little smarter. Big ass Mayor Adams.
Oh, thank you.
There you are, sir. You guys have a really good thing going on with food, beer, wine here in Portland. This is fun. And your sandwich, these guys did you right.
This is a good sandwich. Thank you, Big A sandwich.
You can't say the word?
No.
When you're done with all the food carts, you can head down to Voodoo Donuts, seen on the Food Network, seen all over the place.
You can get a donut that's designed to look like dirt, and another one that has, all kinds of, I don't know, you'll have to check it out.
I see Keep Portland Weird all over the city.
That's right.
Portland is a wonderful city. What's the Keep Portland Weird thing all about?
It's really, Portland is a place where you can be who you are. And whether that's weird to other people, here in Portland, we embrace that.
Like this guy here. Elvis Presley lives in Portland, Oregon, everybody.
He has not left the building.
Portland is a city made up of many diverse neighborhoods. The Alberta District is one of the more colorful neighborhoods. Every last Thursday of every month, they celebrate Last Thursday all up and down Alberta Street. Tonight, we also celebrate the opening of the Alberta Rose Theatre. Inside the theater, enjoy the sights and sounds of March 4th Marching Band, the pride of Portland.
Group of us got together actually on Alberta, just a few blocks down the street. Had a meeting, put the band together for a Fat Tuesday party. Oddly enough, when we tour, we try to keep it around 20, but we have about 30-something people in the band.
Well, this was awesome tonight. You guys, the crowd loved you. You christened the theater. What do you think about this place? Brand new venue.
I really like it. I've been living basically 2 blocks from here for about 11 years.
No kidding.
So I've been watching. This place was a church forever, and I've been sort of watching it. And all of a sudden, it's now a venue, and I'm really excited because there's really no proper venues on this street. So
we have kind of designed the place to be able to do live theater plays, dance, live music, and soon we're going to install a screen and video projection. We're going to be able to do movies.
Last Thursday on Alberta Street was definitely one of the more eclectic events we've ever attended. Portland is loaded with live performance venues, and the Alberta Rose Theatre, christened tonight, is a great place to be entertained. If you come to Portland, come on the last Thursday of the month and come to Alberta Street. I guarantee you an experience of a lifetime. Coming up, Portland's vibrant floating home community, and we set sail on the mighty Columbia River with new friends. Portland, Oregon's TriMet is one of the most sophisticated light rail and bus transportation systems in the country. Its MAX, or Metropolitan Area Express, connects downtown Portland with several surrounding areas. And if you're a business traveler to Portland, you can take the MAX right from PDX to downtown Portland and back. It's very safe, it's very convenient, and very affordable. Living on the water is a lifestyle for thousands of Portlanders. There's about a half a dozen communities. I've always been intrigued by this lifestyle, so today we get to learn about it. We're also going to set sail on the Columbia with some new friends. It's a gorgeous day on the river, and it's a great way and a great day to make new friends.
Hi.
Kate, Tom, Shell, what's it like to live on the water? I've always been intrigued. I've always wanted to, but I never have.
Different than on land for sure. One thing is you're very close to your neighbors, and
you better like them.
To a neighbor, you better like them. You better. Well, I mean, you do need to be social.
It's such a community. I mean, you really are. There's 71 homes down here, and you're family. I mean, you're 2 feet away from your neighbors. We're at the bottom of the ramp. There's only one way in and out. Someone goes out of town and they're like, hey, I'm going to be gone for a couple of weeks, walk my dog, take care of my cats, water my plants. I mean, we're so intertwined. It's so beyond community. It truly is a family.
It's really great to be able to step out off your deck and go boating. And I think most people who live on the water love the water and love to boat, and most people have boats, and that's kind of what draws them down here. To us, that's really what it is all about, is being able to have access all the time to the water. At a spur of a moment, if you want to go out on it, you can.
And away we go. This is nice. Tell me about the neighborhood.
This is our neighborhood. When we take our friends around to see our neighborhood, we take them up the channel in our boat. When you live on the water, this is your neighborhood. It's a little water world.
How long have you been here, Eric?
I've lived here for 4 years in a floating home. I've been in Portland for 20-some years. Seattle before that. Seattle's where I learned to sail.
Where are we going today, Eric? What are we doing?
Well, we're going to head out the North Portland Channel, which is what we're in right now, and then we are going to head up the river, put some sails up, and it's a perfect day out there. The wind is just right for sailing, and as you can see, maybe 3 clouds in the sky. Okay guys, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn the boat into the wind. That will allow us to raise our mainsail. I'm going to send Jacob up to the mast. He's going to do what's called jumping the halyard. And John, you're going to actually be down here on the winch, coffee grinding it up.
So I love the terminology in sailing. Lots of different terminology for you to get used to. What's this thing called?
This is the mast.
And what's that bar over there called?
This is the boom.
We've got a boom. That's our boom right there. I'm going to go ahead and guess that your boom is more useful than our boom. Wondered what it was like to live on the water, and now we know. It's a lifestyle I could definitely get a hold of. We had a great time. We met some new friends, went sailing. We're ending here at the Island Cafe right on the water. I like it. You guys have a good thing going on here in Portland. Portland has one of the best live music scenes in the country, so stick around for our featured band, Floater. Oregon music scene is off the charts. One of the best in the country, and Floater tonight absolutely rocked one of the best live music venues, the Crystal Ballroom. Three guys bringing that kind of sound to the stage.
Nothing but a flying cannonball. Yeah. So I am who I am. So I am. Oh, I will navigate all the streets and the narrows. Gonna laugh away all the daggers, stones and arrows.
Who writes your music? Because your new CD tonight, we heard, it's fantastic. It's awesome. Everything you guys do is great.
Thank you. Wow. You know, it's pretty collaborative, really. I mean, sometimes I'll come in with a whole song that I think is done, and then these guys will play it and they'll go, you know, it would be better like this, and then it is. And then sometimes we don't even have a starting point, and we just start kind of throwing ideas out and they stick, and it, you know, it's there's an element of like that. You know how when the chefs will just throw noodles at the wall,
Sure. See what sticks.
See what sticks.
We do a lot of that. Like, hey, that one works.
Yeah. I've been wondering when you will come around. When will you speak out loud? I know you're hiding. I've been wondering how I can push this thing. What falling night will bring. I know you're hiding because you wish you were tougher than you are. You don't want the pain, but you want the scar. And you're never gonna take it as far as you're afraid to go.
Let's talk about Portland music because, you know, I think most viewers watching around the country right now are not probably really privy to Portland music scene. This is a thriving, bumping music scene. Why Portland, Oregon?
It's
Why do you think?
crazy. I mean, what blows me away, you go out on tour, and you could be in a city that is 12 million, and there are fewer clubs to play than there are in a city like Portland that's 2 million. And you find yourself going, why are you 6 times larger in terms of population, but there's so little happening here? You know, and you come to Portland and there's this sort of bizarre, like, renaissance of, I mean, it's incredible.
Because you wish you were tougher than you are. No, you don't want the pain, but you want the scar. And you're never gonna take it as far as you're afraid to go.
Thanks for tuning into this episode of Next Stop from the gorgeous Rose City of Portland, Oregon. You guys have to check this place out. We met some great people. What a beautiful city. Thanks also to our show sponsors, Alaska Airlines, award-winning Alaska Airlines, and Widmer Brothers Brewing Company. We'll see you next time on Next Stop. Where will we take you next? Make good memories, everybody.
He's going to do what's called jumping the halyard. And John, you're going to actually be down here on the winch, coffee grinding it up.
I get to play with the winch?
You get to play with the winch.
It's not the first time.
We obviously like sharing each other, you know, physically, mentally, whatever.
Sharing each other physically. Well, that's not this kind of show. We'll have to talk about that later.
That's a family production.
Hi, everybody. I'm John Olson. Welcome to Next Stop from Beantown, USA. Boston, Massachusetts is one of the oldest cities in America, rich with history. We'll tour Boston by bike, by boat, and by foot. You'll love the city, you'll love the music, you'll love the people, and you'll love the show. The fun starts now. Boston Harbor is world famous. This afternoon, we're going to take a tour on the Secret Love.
These are the original locks to the Charles River. The Charles River is a tidal river. Because the river is dammed up with locks, it now is actually a river basin. The water does not flow through the Charles.
So it stays pretty calm,
It stays very calm. There's great sailing on the Charles River, rowing, the crew boats. We're coming into the Salt and Pepper Bridge. It's actually called the Longfellow Bridge. But because of the shape of the towers, they look like salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, yeah, they do.
So the local yokels call it the Salt and Pepper Bridge.
So this is one of the more famous boats in the country, in any harbor.
The USS Constitution, otherwise known as Old Ironsides. When the British would shoot their cannons at it, and they're big, big cannonballs, they would bounce off the sides, and that's how it got its nickname for Old Ironsides.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Boston Harbor. I mean, I really love it. It's so much fun. Any excuse to get out in the water is a good excuse.
I agree with you, Bobby. I'm a water person. But I like water with boundaries like this.
That's one nice thing about Boston Harbor. There's 34 harbor islands out there. They really add sort of a protective layer against the ocean so that the storm waves do not penetrate into the harbor.
You guys have a beautiful, beautiful boat. And tell us about your staff, because I mean, Adam, not only is he a backup captain here, but he's an amazing chef.
I tell you, that's the one thing, no matter what boat you have, it's the crew that make the boat. And, you know, the boat can...
See, look at this. Look at
oh, my God.
Now, you have a co-captain on board here, of one of four-legged kinds.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Junior.
Where's Junior?
Oh, my God, Junior. Junior.
We're very fortunate to have our own local expert and park ranger, Jessica, join us here on the boat. You know everything about these islands, I'm told, that we're heading out to.
Yeah, I used to work for the Park Service, and so I led trips out to Boston Light, one of the oldest lighthouses in the country, for about 2 years. And then I just came on with the state about 2 years ago. So I've been working in the Boston Harbor Islands National Recreation Area for 4 years.
So we're on board George's Island. What's significant about this place?
There's so much that's significant about this place, but why it's preserved and part of the national park system is because it was used as a Confederate prisoner of war camp during the Civil War.
I love this place. I love the feeling. I can just feel the history.
Yeah, I think a lot of people feel that way. You know, we have about 10,000 visitors who come here every summer to step back in history, step back in nature, and just experience the islands.
So when you dock here, you have no idea how expansive this place is. This is huge.
Yeah, that's why it took 17 years to build. The best part about the fort, though, is that the kids that come out here, they get to explore the dark tunnels, walk through its archways, and just explore the whole fort. So we're actually here out on Spectacle Island, one of the newest islands in our park, and I'm going to take you up to the North Drumlin for some of the best views of Boston Harbor. The history of the island, the city of Boston added about 37 acres worth of garbage when this was its dumping site.
So this used to be the big dump, and it used to smell really bad.
Exactly. This island in particular kind of symbolizes hope for me, that there's a chance that we could take something that was once an eyesore and transform it into something that's beautiful that people can enjoy.
Coming up on Next Stop, our nation's oldest restaurant and a bike tour of Boston. We are actually at the oldest working restaurant in America. It doesn't get any more historical than that, right, Joe?
I hope not.
Now, you're one of 3 families that have owned this restaurant throughout time. How is that possible?
Alrighty. Well, you had to have a starter, so you had two individuals, Atwood and Bacon, who were, I would call, entrepreneurs of their own time back in 1826. And they were in the oyster business. So it was very typical. A restaurant came about being because people had a product and they wanted to get it to the consumer.
The picture there with all these famous people all come to this place. So why do people come here? What's the draw? Besides the story.
Yeah. Well, we want to believe that you can always get people to come or spread the word because people have come and enjoyed themselves. For reasons such as the clam chowder you will be enjoying, the oysters, which is our middle name. Certainly lobster is such a trademark of New England, and it is really the best.
Okay, Anton, Joe said we have to come to the oyster bar. It says you're like world famous.
Put the knife right over here. One little crack, and then he breaks, you turn them around. That's the serve.
So you don't sound like you're from these parts.
No, I'm originally actually from Switzerland.
Yeah?
From the German part, the better part. I have a little accent, and actually that's the reason people like it. Today we have two kind of voices. We have some cartoons, they are from the Cape Cod from Massachusetts, and those are actually, they are Blue Points from Connecticut.
Oh, that's a lot of horseradish.
Good for you. Wow.
It's going to put hair on my chest, right?
You just ate the same thing about 5 minutes ago.
You had no hair on your face?
No, it's clean shaven.
Are you here for business or are you here for pleasure?
We work here, yeah.
Oh, you work here. Good.
Bricklayers.
Excellent. Yeah. So what should people see when they come to Boston?
A lot of history.
Well, a lot of history. Yeah.
Well, here we are, the oldest restaurant in America.
That's right.
It's exciting. I text my wife, and tell her where I'm at, and what building I'm at, It's all right. It's cool.
The oysters were amazing here, but the lobsters are even more amazing. They're actually trained. Let's watch this.
Table hold a fork and a napkin.
And they'll take my money. That's awesome. New York has the Metro, Chicago has the L, Portland has the Max, San Francisco has BART. Boston has T with 5 colorful lines, each related to the destinations in which it serves. For example, the red line takes passengers from downtown Boston to Harvard. The colors of Harvard, crimson red. There's over 50 different tours available here in Boston. We're checking it out with Urban Event Tours by Bike.
I'm from Chicago. I will attempt a Boston accent occasionally on this tour. I've been riding the streets of Boston for 30 years. I'd be riding my bike this morning anyway, so I'm glad to have somebody along on the ride with me.
Please ring your bells, and we're going to head off in this direction.
Here we are, staring at the garden, the beautiful Boston garden. I want you guys to take a look over here at the Leonard P. Zachem Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge. From now on, when you're watching the Sports Channel, the Weather Channel, politics, and you see this bridge behind some talking head, you're going to know that's Boston. This is our Golden Gate Bridge. Many years ago, in the 50s, the 60s, and 70s, an elevated highway called the Central Artery cut right through the heart of Boston, breaking off Boston from its history to the sea. The whole idea of the Big Dig, which begins right here, was to create this beautiful park, reconnect Boston with the sea. And at $1 billion a mile, we think they did a great job. So thank you all for paying your taxes. So, you guys have just climbed Beacon Hill. Congratulations, the biggest hill climb of the day. We're in beautiful Lewisburg Square. Right over here at 88 Mount Vernon, Robert Frost lived for many years. Lots of the inspiration for his poetry came from his walks here on Beacon Hill. Last house on the right with the American flag, our now senior Senator John Kerry and his wife Teresa Heinz Kerry. We just want you guys to get a sense of, really, this is one of those spots, the beauty of Boston. We're staring over here at the Back Bay. Again, all landfill. The Charles River was about a mile wide here. All of this building that we'll be in the Back Bay is filled in over the course of about 30 years. So 1912, oldest ballpark in America. And the Red Sox, this is it. This is the heart of Red Sox Nation. This is the temple.
What a great way to see Boston with Urban Adventures. What a cool name.
Yep.
This is your company, right, Andrew?
Yep. I don't want anybody to come to Boston and leave not feeling like they saw everything that they wanted to see. So I think it's the best way to cover the most ground and get a little exercise while you're at it.
What's Boston's biggest secret?
It's really a pretty tiny place. So I think when people leave Boston, they feel like, I really visited that city, and it's much more manageable than they think.
One of my best memories is going to be this chick magnet that you got here. This is your boy, huh?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. So this thing actually runs on vegetable oil. It's not just about biking, it's about living a green lifestyle. So we try to promote that actively.
Coming up on Next Stop, historical Boston by foot and a unique bed and breakfast. There are many ways to see historical Boston. We're joining a tour of the Freedom Trail, a walk through pre-revolutionary history with a witness. Our witness, Rachel Revere.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to welcome all of you to Boston. We're going to see a lot of the sites along the way that pertain to the time in our history in America called the Revolutionary War. This is the third oldest burial ground in Boston. And I bring you here because there are more people buried here that have to do with the revolutionary effort than any other burial ground in New England. This is John Hancock. By the way, this carving of the man's face on this marker actually is what he looked like. When he signed the Declaration of Independence, his largest signature and the very first, because he was president of the Second Continental Congress, and when he signed, he was openly defying the king. He was saying, I know you know who I am, and I stand against you. Catch me if you can. And, thanks to my husband Paul, he never was caught. All right, this is the marker, the present-day marker of Mr. Paul Revere. I want to point this out. Look at this. This says Revere's tomb. It's a slate marker. Now, you can see the ordinary markers here are made of slate. If you had a lot of money, then you could afford a table tomb like this. Now, this marker is much more expensive. It's made of white marble. It was put here in the 1860s. They dressed up Revere's grave. He was not a John Hancock or a George Washington by any means. He would be shocked to find out how famous he is today. And this is because Henry Wadsworth Longfellow wrote a poem about him in 1860. He wrote a poem called The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere. And to this day, if you're from America, you usually have to read this poem somewhere along the line. This is the old State House. The old State House was built in 1713. We have the lion. We have the unicorn. Those two carvings are images signifying the United Kingdom, united in 1707. This is the area where the Boston Massacre took place. It started with one man, one redcoat, guarding a customs house. The Patriots start threatening them, saying, fire, fire on us if you dare. That's how it all started, and the first musket discharged, and then the following soldiers also just in the confusion fired en masse. But and unfortunately, 5 men were killed. So that's what actually happened. It was a chaotic, confused scene. The reason I wanted to bring you over here is I want you to look up at the weather vane of this building. You see a grasshopper, a gilded grasshopper there. You wanted to find out if you were talking to a loyalist spy, someone claiming to be a man from Boston, but who was not. All you had to do was ask him, what creature flies above Faneuil Hall? And if you do not answer a grasshopper, well, then you shoot him. That's what you do, and that's how we took care of all that. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rachel Revere. I want to thank you all so much for joining me on this tour. You're a delight to talk to. I want to wish you a safe and happy journey to wherever you are traveling.
We stay at hotels, motels, bed and breakfasts all over the world, and this might be the most unique place we've ever stayed here in Boston, B&B Afloat. Peter, you're the co-owner of B&B Afloat and Constitution Marina here. Your dad started this.
Yep, back in the 60s.
This is a beautiful, beautiful marina, and what a location.
He was a boater, and all his friends wanted a place to put boats. There were no marinas back in the 60s. 14, 15 years ago, we decided that people were looking for another use for their boats, and this might be something interesting to try. So we started with a couple of our customers' boats. They've become so successful that we have probably a dozen boats and hotels that we use here at the marina and at other sites too.
So describe the lady in the coach for our viewers, because we love this place. It's got a nice big sitting room.
Yep, she's a nice motor yacht that's used privately owned and used and kept up for bread and breakfast.
And with all the amenities too, though, you've got
shower,
kitchen,
yep.
Showers. The bedrooms are big. The beds are huge.
Yep. It's like living in a floating hotel.
You really don't feel like you're on a yacht.
No.
And then our guys are checking into another one tonight. What's different about that one?
Rosinante is actually my partner's boat, and that's a 60-foot sailboat. And so boats are different. Power boats tend to have more room inside. Sailboats tend to be more yachty. V berths and double wide berths, but as opposed to very large berths, but they're just as comfortable. And the nice thing about these is, when you look out your window, you're looking at Boston.
D-Dock is where our boat is on. D-Dock is supposedly world famous, I'm told.
Oh, D-Dock, yes.
Why is D-Dock so famous?
Because of the people that keep their boats on D-Dock and the people that live here. We have about 60 or 70 people that actually live at the marina year-round.
What do you love most about Boston? And what's Boston's best-kept secret that maybe our viewers wouldn't know?
It's a lot friendlier than people think. It's people, you can go up to anyone, ask them any question, and they'll stop and talk to you.
I agree with that. We found that. Now, you do much more than just bed and breakfast and manage the marina. You guys have charters, you do sunset cruises. Talk about that.
Well, if a bed and breakfast customer would like to go out for 3 or 4 hours in the evening on a sailboat or a powerboat or virtually anything else that you want, we can arrange that.
We took a water taxi in. Courtesy of Bobby T. Bobby T has been our kind of Boston tour guide. He's a great guy to represent your business.
Yeah, he is fabulous. We've had him for a number of years, and we put a lock and key on him, so nobody's stealing him.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
Coming up, the Boston music scene with Alex McDougall.
The color of my hair and the styles that I wear.
We're at Lucky's Lounge with Alex McDougall. Before we talk about your music, let's talk about this place.
Yes.
This is a really cool, swanky place.
Friends of mine opened this place about 10 years ago, and I think they kind of had me in mind when they opened it, so obviously I feel quite at home.
Okay, so it's dark, very sinister.
It's dark and very sinister, much
Great
like
food.
myself.
Great cocktails.
Yep.
And super hot chicks working the bar.
Yeah, they do a good job here.
They had you in mind with that?
They know what I like.
I figured I'd move to Hollywood, but I decided not to. I thought that it might do me good, but I decided not to. I made plans to divorce my wife and get a life. Say goodbye to my friends, start all over again. And change the color of my hair and the styles that I wear. Incessantly refer to myself in the third person.
Let's talk about your music.
Let's talk about the music.
The Hollywood tune was awesome. I totally dug that.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
And that's something you wrote a long time ago.
A long time ago. Well, the melody came to me in the shower one day. That's a true story. And then we needed a fourth tune, and I was hanging out in the studio one day, and I started singing and playing that tune, and the producer was like, "What's that? I really like that." And that ended up being the fourth tune on the EP. Ironically enough, that's the one everyone really likes.
Baby, have a cameo in my favorite show. with David Hasselhoff and Pamela Anderson Lee. I figured I'd move to Hollywood, but I decided not to. I thought that it might do me good, but I decided not to.
Let's talk about the Boston music scene. A lot of great bands have come out of Boston over the years. Aerosmith, Jay Giles, Boston. Let's not forget about Billy Squire. Forget it. Perhaps, I don't know. Actually, I think they came out of Swampscott, which is on the North Shore, for those of you who don't know. Tell our viewers who know nothing about Boston. Yes. What's the biggest secret about Boston that you know?
Come to Boston. The biggest secret about Boston would be me. This place. Come to Lucky's Lounge. This place is great. Great food, great people, great music.
I think I might as well stick around and keep my feet on the ground and my head out of the sand out there in La La Land.
Thanks for tuning in to Next Stop Boston, one of the oldest cities in America with a very impressive history. Equally impressive, its people. They're so friendly. We made so many new friends. So thanks to everybody in Boston that helped make this show possible. Thanks also to our title sponsor, Alaska Airlines. We'll see you next time on Next Stop. Where will we take you next? Make good memories, everybody. What's the significance of this place?
Nothing.
Okay. That was just a
My heart's racing.
Let's talk about the Boston music scene.
Yes. You're looking at it right here. Right here.
Hi, I'm John Olson. Welcome to Next Stop from Wine Country, USA. On this episode, we feature the #1 wine growing region in the country, California wine country. Of course, we'll taste some great wines, pair it with fabulous foods, and meet some of the colorful locals. But if you've been to wine country, you know you don't do it alone. So I invited my girlfriend Mary and my friends Mark and Leanna to fly over the water from Honolulu and join me to share in the experience. That's how you do wine country. The fun starts now. There are many fun ways to tour wine country. Later on in the show, we'll tour by limo, but today we're with Getaway Adventures for a sip and cycle bike tour of wine country.
All right, you guys, welcome to the Dry Creek Valley of Sonoma County. It's a gorgeous spot right here, as you can see. If you look behind us, you'll see all these vineyards that we have. But basically, today's ride is going to take us through some of the most beautiful vineyards you'll ever see in this area. And you can see the olive trees over here.
Oh, that's cool.
A lot of still grape clusters left on the vines. Big old oak trees here. This is it, the postcard, baby. This is what people come from all over the world to see. Let's go ahead and park our bikes right over here. Welcome to the Preston Winery here. We're going to do a little wine tasting here. I want to introduce you to Robert here. He's going to be pouring some wine for us today. So Petit Syrah, look at the color on this. Very, very dark. I'm going to recommend you guys try a couple of these, like the El Preston Red is a great blended wine.
All these grapes are traditionally blended in southern France, so we kind of do the same with them here.
Well, I think wine that counts as fruit and vegetable, right?
That is.
Yeah. Fruit. Yeah, serving of fruit.
And there's definitely some fiber in here. So.
Yeah. So if I have wine every morning for breakfast, I'm getting my fruits. Is that?
Yeah, fruit.
Your fiber.
And your fiber.
Fruit and fiber.
And loaded with antioxidants.
It's big and rich. It's also kind of fruity. It's pretty soft, easy to drink.
Like Mark.
There you go.
Big, fruity, and soft. I mean, that describes it in a nutshell.
I'm feeling we're in California wine country, but it's very rural out here.
Very rural. You know, compared to anywhere else.
Truck go by.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I mean, we're in the country.
This is great.
I mean, you got farms over here. You got, open vineyards. This is Kind of reminds me of Provence in southern France.
It is like that. It's very kind of unspoiled by technology. You don't see a lot of technology.
Not a lot of big buildings, not a lot of huge wineries, mostly small places. Like I said, a lot of families are out here.
You got some fancy wines here. A 95 rating?
We were very happy there. We would have done cartwheels for a 90.
What should we be looking for in this?
You're going to see some dark red fruit there, some dark cherry and a little bit of plum. It's got real nice balance, nice finish.
Steve, you do it every time.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
All right, you guys, welcome to a special treat here in the wine country, and that's sampling right out of the barrel. This is wine that's been aged now for a little while, but we get to taste it before it hits the bottle, so this is a really kind of special treat.
So the old wine's in, you're going to get much more complexity with this one, more concentrated fruit, and this one will give you hints of cherry, caramel, and mocha. It is absolutely delicious.
The nose is awesome.
Yeah, it's just an amazing.
Give it a little, open it up a little bit, just give it a little air.
Randy, I want to thank you for a great day. The bike tour was awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming out, you guys. You guys are all great. Good cyclists. Enjoy the good wine. And come back and visit us in Sonoma County.
Oh, we will.
Thank you.
If you're a wine connoisseur, you probably store your wine. So here's a little wine storage 101 for you. If you have a cooler, set the temp at 55 to 60 degrees. Dessert wines at the bottom, whites in the middle, reds at the top. If you don't have a wine cooler, look for a room like this. No temperature fluctuations, cool, dry, perfect. Set the wines on its side, but never, ever, ever store your wines on top of your refrigerator. How many of you are just busted right now? Reason why? Vibrations. Not good for the wine. There's your Wine Fast Fact 101. We have a special treat for you today. We've done food segments all over the world, but never have we been in the kitchen of a world-renowned chef. This is the father of wine country cuisine, Chef John Ash.
You know, I was sort of the first. I mean, it was a long time ago. When I first came to Sonoma County, to Santa Rosa, there was no good food here, which was surprising because it was an amazing agricultural area. A winemaker friend of mine took me to what was then the best restaurant in town, and I'll never forget this. It was the middle of summertime, and here was all this wonderful stuff being grown around here, and this best restaurant in town was serving canned vegetables. And I said, you know what? I could be a big fish in a small pond.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
What are we going to make?
We're going to make the simplest, everybody should know how to make this. It's the simplest dessert in the world. The Italians call it zabaglione. French call it sabaglione. I describe it as it's kind of like all of the great relationships in my life. There's this wonderful thing, it's there, but then it's not there, and that's kind of about my relationships. Great memories there, but not there anymore. That's really good.
Well, I'm willing to help. So
okay, you're going to do it. So what we're going to do is I've taken some egg yolks here, a little bit of lemon juice, and this is just your own liking. We're going to add some sugar, so it's that kind of balance, and you add as much or as little as you want to, and then carefully measure the wine. You know,
that's careful.
That's
very careful.
And what we're going to do is whisk this together, all of these things, until they're combined. And then I'm going to let you do this. We're going to put it on top of the simmering water here.
So we just set it on top. Do I continue whisking?
Yeah, and keep whisking like crazy. So your objective is to keep it moving and to actually beat air into it. And what will happen is that it will rise up like the souffle. We won't see any liquid egg anymore.
Oh, I can see it.
And what we want to do is get it off there before we scramble the eggs. And if you look at it, there's all of the liquid egg is gone, so we've cooked it. Any fruit that you like is, you can put on here. So this is the kind of thing that you could do, even if you hadn't planned on dessert. And really, that's it. So there you go.
My. Coming up on Next Stop, we tour wine country by limo, and we take a bath in cedar wood chips. You'll want to stick around for this. You must be Len.
I am. Please, come up and join us for a moment. So this is a rosé, a Pinot Noir. We make this from our best grapes. This has a nose, it has a taste. The key elements of wine, and particularly a Pinot Noir, even a rosé, a Pinot Noir, is that there should be balanced. But the three basic things is that there's a nose, you have a smell, that the taste, they call it the mid palate, is consistent with the smell, and the aftertaste or the finish is long and also consistent. We can enjoy the Pinot Noir, which is the hardest, often conceived of. I don't want to start an argument with other winemakers or things, but basically this is generally considered the hardest wine to make. It's a very thin grape. The balances are very, and in that farming it is a very difficult thing. It's a many layered grape. It doesn't have that much tannin. You just really have to do this right to get it. So this is really it's one reason we attracted our winemaker here. I mean, she wanted to make.
I saw one of your Pinots won a 97 point.
Yeah, just right. And this has a nose, just pops out at you from way. You don't even have to put your nose way in the glass, although it's good to do so.
Okay, so what'd you guys think?
Great.
What was your favorite? I liked them all. What was your favorite, Mark?
The 07 Pinot.
You like that?
Yeah, it was great.
What about the rosé? Are you a rosé kind of guy? You don't seem like a rosé kind of guy.
I never drink rosé, but you put that rosé in front of me, I will consume it quickly. It was really good.
And now we're off to Osmosis Spa. Ready to get your spa on?
Oh, I'm ready.
Konnichiwa.
I have a lovely tea service for you today. This tea that I'm going to serve you actually works in conjunction with the enzyme bath. It's a nice part of your treatment.
So what can you tell us about the enzyme bath? Neither one of us has done this before.
It's a really wonderful heat treatment, and what's so unique about it is it's generating its heat biologically through a process of fermentation. The bath has over 600 active plant enzymes that are catalyzing the different woods in the bath to undergo a fermentation process, and the heat is a byproduct of that process.
What inspired this from you? Now, you spent some time in Japan, I understand.
I did. I went over to Japan to study the traditional landscape gardening and meditation, and in the process I stumbled across this amazing enzyme bath, and from the minute I sunk inside of it, I knew it was my calling to bring it back to the United States.
You designed all this stuff?
Well, actually, I collaborated with some fantastic associates to do this, including Robert Ketchell from England, who's one of the preeminent Japanese landscape gardeners probably on the planet right now.
Nice.
And Steve Stuckey, who is a Zen priest, landscaper, now head of San Francisco Zen Center. So we had a lot of intention to create a meditative environment here.
Your massage therapists are wonderful, and you can actually have massage in a pagoda or in a standard massage room, right?
That's right, and we're really happy to have been working for 25 years now with an absolutely fantastic community of very gifted healers who are really motivated in their own personal development as well as their own massage technique to really create the most elevated and profound massage experience you could imagine.
We've had a great day. We started our day with wine. We took a little break for the Osmosis Spa, which was amazing, and now we're back to wine. But I need to say, arigato gozaimasu.
Do itashimashite.
Coming up on Next Stop, California Champagne and a Santa Rosa historic landmark hotel. So we're off to our final winery, which is actually Champagne, Corbel.
Corbel makes currently 15 different champagnes. They're listed according to the dosage level. So if it's 1% or less, it's a dry champagne. Between 1 and 2%, it's a medium, and greater than 2 is a dessert. So the first champagne we're going to try is our natural. It's the dosage on it is 0.75. It's a blend of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. It's also the inaugural champagne. Has been served at every presidential inauguration since Kennedy.
It's really nice.
It's a little harder to find, but it is distributed.
Now, there's a key to opening champagne bottles, right? I'm going to watch you do it properly.
It's supposed to whisper. Cage is put on with 6 half turns. It's tradition. So we can count if you like.
Okay, let's count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And a half.
And I always leave it on just for safety, but this will hold the cork. And when you open it, it should just whisper. So if I do it right.
Oh.
How's that?
Music to my ears.
So this is the Brut Rosé. So it does see a little bit of skin time because that's where the color comes from. So to get a little bit of pink, a little bit of time, we're talking hours.
Really?
Yeah, not very long. Well, that's it for today. Come back and see us again.
Okay, as I open this bottle of Corbel, we're just leaving Corbel. I was amazed that Corbel had so many varieties of champagne.
Me too.
I was very surprised. I didn't know they had 15 varietals.
Cheers.
No problem.
Cheers. Cheers.
Hey, John, where's our next stop?
Our next stop, the Flamingo Resort. We always stay at cool places on Next Stop, and this place is no exception. We're in downtown Santa Rosa at the Flamingo Resort and Spa.
It's got a lot of history, flavor, and it was the headquarters of the Hollywood celebrities back in the late 50s.
Just walking around the circular grounds here, I feel like Elvis Presley or Marilyn Monroe is going to walk by me. That's really the feel you get at this place. Now, I'm seeing a lot of artwork around here, a lot of Snoopy's, Charlie Brown's, Lucy statues. What are those all about?
They're worth about $250,000. So they're rather unique, especially the San Francisco Giant ones in the lobby. That's with them now in the World Series. It's really unique.
Now, Sunday brunch is supposed to be good. That's on our agenda, right?
Yeah, we've won a couple awards already for the best brunch in Sonoma County.
Describe why this property is so unique.
We have a great blend of both beautiful room accommodations and these 2 magnificent pools we have. We've got a beautiful cardio room with treadmill, TVs. We've got a group exercise area.
So I'm digging the wine, I'm digging the food, I'm digging the exercise facility, but I'm also digging the spa.
Yeah, the spa is really special. And in fact, why don't you grab your girlfriend and head over there and let Mary Lou take care of you, and then I'll meet you back in the lounge at 8 o'clock for something special.
We've got John going into our Vichy scrub room, and he's going to be having a warming ginger salt scrub, which is just a wonderful wet water treatment. So we've got Mary then following John going into our rose petal facial, which is a really wonderful hydrating facial.
Antonio.
Hi.
John Olson, how are you, buddy?
John, good. How are you doing?
Dan says to show up at the lounge at 8 o'clock.
Yes.
And there's some surprise happening for us. What's up?
Absolutely. You're actually going to be doing a salsa class tonight. So you got your basic down, your side basic, and you're good to go. You guys did great.
Okay, we didn't see Elvis, but we had a great time at the Flamingo Resort. We got our spa on. We learned how to salsa dance. Next time you're in Santa Rosa, check this place out. It'll take you straight back to Las Vegas in the 1950s. Alaska Airlines is the 8th largest U.S. airline based on passenger traffic and is clearly the dominant carrier on the West Coast. With Alaska Airlines codeshare partner Horizon Airlines, you can fly directly into the heart of wine country from Portland or Seattle right here to Sonoma County Airport. For more information, visit alaskaair.com. We love checking out great restaurants all over the globe, and this place speaks to my heart. In downtown Santa Rosa, we're at Stark's Steakhouse. I'm a total meat and potatoes kind of guy. Mark, thanks for having us, buddy.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Now, this place has been around for just a few years, right?
We're going into our 3rd year now. We just loved the building. It was a little bit tired. We came in and just redid it and brought back all that old history to it. It feels like an old-fashioned steakhouse, and you could be in Chicago, you could be in New York, you could be in San Francisco. Luckily, though, you're in Sonoma County here, Santa Rosa. It just has that old-fashioned feel that just brings back a ton of memories for a lot of people and creates a lot of new ones for people as well.
You guys have something unique to most steakhouses.
It's the aging room. It's our pride and joy. An aging room really is the old-fashioned way of aging beef and creating that real good beefy flavor.
What are your signature dishes?
Beef.
Oh, yeah, of course. But like which cut?
Well, the unique part about Stark Steakhouse is that there's several different ways to get your meat on. And what I like to do is get several cuts on the table, several different sauces, and just everybody get a little bit of everything.
Come to Stark Steakhouse and get your meat on. Coming up on Next Stop, music by Adam Traum at one of Sonoma's original wineries. When you think of Sonoma wines, you think of Sebastian. This was one of the first vineyards in all of Sonoma County. You step into this amazing structure, and it's just, you feel like you're in history.
Samuele Sebastiani used to drive this tank on the back of a wagon up to the quarries to sell wine by the tin cup to the workers up there. About a nickel a cup back then.
I love that. Actually, it's about a nickel a cup right now. It's more than a nickel a cup.
Come a long way, baby.
You've got a great tasting room.
Yes, it's a beautiful structure. It was the actual winemaking facility up until about 2000 when we remodeled and turned that into the tasting room. It's just a beautiful, beautiful room with a lot of arches, great for music.
I drink that muddy water. I feel it deep inside. I drink that muddy water. I feel it deep inside.
I knew Chicago had the blues, but I had no idea that Sonoma had the blues. Adam, you bring it, buddy.
Well, thank you, man.
Now, I got to ask you guys, because blues players don't dress like this. Did you guys get dressed up just for us tonight?
Well, you know, it's kind of a new thing. I've been dressing up for my gigs a little bit lately.
It wasn't just for us? Come on.
It wasn't just for you, I promise.
The whole band looks good, man.
Well, you know, I just told them what I was wearing, and I told them I just wanted them clean and covered, you know, and they all did. They all listened to me for a change.
Hear those rails a humming, that train is coming soon. It's carrying some hellhounds, hungry for some food. I know I've done some things that I knew were wrong, but I never robbed a poor man or drove him from his home. Before my 15th birthday, I'd stolen my first piece. I learned how to shoot straight, soon I had to leave. Took $5 silver and I headed out one night on a horse as fast as lightning in that pale moonlight. We'll be playing in the Devil's Band tonight, singing songs and longing for the light.
What's the music scene like here?
You know, it's a small town, and you'd be surprised how jumping the music scene is. There's a lot of good venues. There's a lot of great players that you wouldn't expect to be in this small a town or this small an area.
We'll be playing in the Devil's Band tonight, singing songs and longing for the light. We'll be playing in the Devil's Band tonight.
Thanks for tuning in to Next Stop from California Wine Country. We had some amazing experiences, had some great wine, met some fabulous people. I also want to say thanks to my friends who came to share this experience with me, Mark and Leanna and my girlfriend Mary from Hawaii. Thanks also to our title sponsor, Alaska Airlines, and its code-share partner, Horizon Airlines. We'll see you next time on Next Stop. Where will we take you next? Make good memories, everybody. Well, we didn't see Elvis, but we had a great time at the Flamingo Conference Resort and Spa. Sorry.
There's only one person speaking in this shot.
That's what it's called. That'll do it from the Flamingo Conference Resort and Spa.
You know what, Leanna? You're never going to get hired in Hollywood if you stop giggling. My God, he's giggling.
Hola, mi nombre es John Olson. Bienvenidos to Next Stop from the most authentic Mexican beach destination. Welcome to Puerto Vallarta, or as the locals say, Puerto Vallarta. Sure, they've got world-class beaches here, but on this episode, we'll bring you authentic Mexican culture. We'll attend a fiesta, we'll bring you local music, and we'll take you high above the city to San Sebastian, an old mining town that hasn't changed in about 200 years. Puerto Vallarta exudes a warmth. It's all about its people. The locals are wonderful. We'll introduce you to some of those people and bring you their great stories. This is a wonderful show. You're going to love it. Gracias for tuning in. The fun starts now. Lots of cool activities to do in and outside of Puerto Vallarta. Today we're going to do one of my personal favorites. We're going ziplining. Woo!
Okay guys, good morning everybody. Welcome to Canopy Tour Indian's Paradise, the best canopy in Puerto Vallarta. Okay? The real name is Puli, but my partner and me, we changed the name. We call you Harley Davidson Mexicana because it's very fast up there. Your safety strap goes on the cable behind your pulley, and your main one goes on the line. When you see this signal from my partner, that signal is mean brake. It's very easy.
Yeah.
When you Harley, it's slow and hard. Exactly like this. Side to side, back and forth. When you come into Mexico, you say, hasta la vista, baby, you know? And this canopy, we change a little bit. We say, hasta la vista, maybe. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Just maybe.
How is that, man?
Awesome.
Every knuckle. Woo!
Fist pump, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That'll get your blood pumping.
This cable we call El Mirador. Mirador is mean the view. Amigo, this line is the last one. 650 minutes long is the long one.
Wow.
Yeah. So amigos, please, I recommend that don't take a siesta in this one, okay? Okay. Open your eyes and look in front.
We've done a lot of zip lines. We've done several in Hawaii. This was absolutely one of our favorites, though. And you know why? Because the zip lines were amazing, but you're an awesome guy.
Oh, yeah.
And you're fun.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Muchas gracias.
Nice to meet you.
Let's experience authentic Mexican culture with Vallarta Adventures, Rhythms of the Night. Rhythms of the Night is another amazing celebration of authentic Mexican culture. Oscar, what a beautiful performance.
As you can see, this is a magic island.
This is a magic island.
Yes,
This is what you call the Mexican Fantasy Island, right?
Mexican Fantasy Island.
From the minute you get off the boat, it's a nice hour-and-a-half boat ride. You get margaritas, have some the crews dancing for you, having a good time. But the minute you get off the boat, it's all these torches and candles everywhere.
Magic.
It is magic.
Yes, it is magic.
And let's talk about your food, too, because your food is incredible. From Venezuelan chefs, right?
Yeah.
You don't expect that from the buffets, but the food, beautiful.
It's like, I think One of the most important things of this tour, and also for Vallarta Adventures, is the quality of the service and the food. Like all the beverage, as you saw, we have our own water. We bottle our own water, so we take care of the environment. So it's like a complete experience to come to Rhythms of the Night, and all of our tours also in Puerto Vallarta, Vallarta Adventures.
Tell us about the story in the performance. It's a love story.
Yeah, it's a love story. It's a union between two ethnic ancestors tribes, and when they get together, it's when two different towns of our ancestors get together, like all what involved this celebration. That's what we saw.
When Next Stop returns, one of our crew members goes to jail. We have a special treat. We're taking a step back in time to an old silver mining village called San Sebastian, 1,400 meters above sea level. It's a gorgeous day. Gabriel is the man who knows all about this town.
This is a town, a colonial town, found in 1605. It was a mining town. Mostly it was silver mine and little gold. They were mining, if I can just point you there, it was on the very high point there, in the high of the peak.
That's very high.
Very high. It's 4,000 feet more than here. We're still making silver here in San Sebastian. So now he's melting silver, then he's going to have a mold, reproduce or make little pieces to work with.
So this is the loneliest place in town. This is the jail.
Yeah, this is the jail.
There's nobody there.
We don't have any crime. It's just using for when it's parties for a guy who has too much
to drink.
Ricey,
They stick him in here.
Yeah, stick him in here just to calm down and not to give some troubles.
But last night, my crew had too many cervezas, maybe too much tequila. Can we put one of my crew members in jail?
Sure, yes.
I think we should. Which one? You pick.
This guy.
Ben?
Yes.
Okay. Ben, hand your camera off. You're going to jail, buddy. Too many tequilas last night. Ben had too many tequilas. Okay, we'll see you next year. Come back and get him in a year, maybe. This place screams history.
Yes.
This is the church.
It was started building in the 17th century as a little chapel. With some priests that go and forth, they've been just doing additions on the tower and putting some bells.
So what's next?
We are going to visit Hotel del Puente. Used to be one of the oldest houses in town also.
This might be one of the most romantic hotels we've ever had on the show. Look at this place.
It is, yes. It's a house. It's about 400 years old, this house. That's the original key of the doors.
Let's go check this room out. Nice. You've been here now for a few years. You're not originally from here.
Yeah.
What's it like to move from the big city and live here in San Sebastian?
It was an incredible experience, really. And I quit to a lot of things in the city. People, they just thought that I was pretty mad about it. They said, "You're going to quit all this." Because I used to have a nice life, but, stress life. Down.
Quality of life is definitely good. You've been an excellent tour guide.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you for showing us your wonderful town.
It was my pleasure.
Located just a short jaunt from San Sebastian town is Hacienda San Sebastian. We're going to learn about tequila. Tequila is a family business for Antonio. Antonio, thanks for having us here to your hacienda. This is a cool place. But we're going to learn about tequila. How do you make it?
Oh, very easy.
Come on, it can't be that easy.
We just wait for the plants to be ready 8 years. And then we're going to cut it. We're going to cook it. We cook it for 3 days in the oven. Then we're going to distill. When we distill twice. And basically of the distillation, we're going to get those aromas and taste from the plant and the alcohol. we're going to put the tequila what we want in our mouth, but as soon as we put it, we're going to close our lips. Put the lips closed, we're going to swallow.
Okay, I'm going to watch you.
All right. Do it. Very good. I'm getting better.
I've never had tequila like that.
No, really?
Usually I just shoot it back.
Really fast? Oh, no.
But this is too good.
Well, the other one is to kill you. This one is tequila.
I like it. At AlaskaAir.com, you have your choice of dozens of vacation packages all over Alaska Airlines route map, including 9 destinations here in Mexico. Alaska Airlines vacation packages include everything to meet your vacation needs, from hotel to rental car and, of course, airfare. The hotel choices are vast. In fact, they even have all-inclusive, meaning you never have to open your wallet. We're here on the beach in Puerto Vallarta at Dreams, an all-inclusive resort. All the bars, all the restaurants, it's all included. But probably the coolest thing here at Dreams is almost every night they release hundreds of baby turtles from the sand to the sea. This is how they start their life, and you get to be a part of it. For more information, go to AlaskaAir.com today and book your Alaska Airlines Dream Vacation. Heart of Puerto Vallarta at Malecon. This is where everything really happens. I'm with Alfonso. Let's talk about this area right here, because this is where it all happened. For 40, 50 years, the fishermen bring the local fish in, and they've been coming here for 40, 50 years, and they're still coming here. This place looks like it hasn't changed in 40 or 50 years.
And it's very interesting because they blend or they mix with tourists, local people, so still we have these places in Vallarta, no? Like
and not just the tourists,
and so on.
Not just the tourists, the pelicans.
Right.
The pelicans also hang out here.
That's right.
And they're very patient, and they're good with people. Like, I've never been so close to a pelican in my life. Up and down the Malecon, there's sculptures, there's art. This is the social place for the city, right?
Right, and as you said, the Malecon, it's like the most, one of the nicest places, the public places where everybody comes to the Malecon.
This sculpture happens to be one of the more famous ones.
This one's called Nostalgia by Ramius Barquette, an artist who died in July at 90, and it relates to his romance with his wife, Nellie. They tried to get married when they were teenagers. The parents separated them. 27 years later, after having married other people, raising children and divorcing their spouses, they bumped into each other in a flower market in Mexico City on the day before Mother's Day and rekindled the romance. And eventually it led to them sitting on a bench talking about what would have happened if they'd gotten married when they were teenagers. And that inspired him to both propose and to make this sculpture.
Oh my God, that's deep. We talked to Gary earlier, and he told us this was all about your love story.
Our life, this nostalgia. It reminds me much of what is part of my life.
And you sat on a bench and you talked about what it might have been had you been together, and then you ended up together.
Yes.
Very few people get to live a love story like that and have a legacy to leave behind you. That this is beautiful. So thanks for having us at your restaurant, which is one of the most traditional restaurants in Puerto Vallarta, right?
Right. We have kept it for 32 years.
You've been in Sports Illustrated. You've been in Esquire magazine. You and your ex-husband. I can't imagine. You're so beautiful today. What you must have looked like back in those days. I probably would have fallen in love with you.
Maybe.
Coming up on Next Stop, more local art and an authentic Mexican fiesta. The Puerto Vallarta art scene is incredibly alive and well here, and unfortunately a few years ago, Puerto Vallarta lost one of their favorite sons, but he wasn't from here, right, Kathy?
No, he was from France. He started to paint when he was 7 years old, and he loved to paint, and even his family always was behind him, and And when he arrived, I think the first really professional thing he did, it was in Saint-Tropez when he first moved there. And then after, he just wanted to see the world. That's, I think, now you can see in his paintings. You know, he went to Africa, to Asia. When he landed in Puerto Vallarta, he said that's where he wants to live. The peace, here in this house, he found the peace he needed to paint. And even the people living with Mexicans is very special. And, I mean, it was very special to live here in Puerto Vallarta. That's how his art grown. He could paint everything Mexican, market scenes and the children's, animals.
What's the one I like the most? It was titled...
The Good Life.
The Good Life.
The Good Life. That's a special one.
He liked The Good Life. I would have gotten along with him.
Yeah, I'm sure you would do, yes.
This is a lovely tribute.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
I wanted something special for the kids, especially for the kids, you know, like always try not to be... I'm going to get emotional.
It's okay.
Yes. I don't want them to forget their father, you know, so it was one of the way, and for them to always think about him.
Well, we're very honored that you shared this with us. I wish we could have met him, but his artwork lives on and will forever.
He was very, very well, very loved here in Vallarta. Everybody misses him.
I was hoping. Yes. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
One of the best restaurants in all of Mexico. And this man right here is the main man, Mr. Terry. Chef Terry, thank you so much for having us. I feel like I'm in like a rainforest somewhere.
And that's a real one. Here I started 20 years ago. It's a very, very small restaurant. And I came to Puerto Vallarta just for one night, 22 years ago. And then I fell in love with Puerto Vallarta. I said, wow, I want to work here and I want to live here. And all this part we are now was really like part of the forest. And then all the cities start building around.
This is like the first time we've ever gone to a restaurant and a food segment where we didn't feature the amazing food, but it is art for you. And it was an art form on the plate. This is dessert.
I like the artistic way of seeing life. So the food, the art, the gardens, the design, and then the people, everybody who works here and who lives here.
Well, I would like to say on behalf of my crew, muchas gracias for sharing this wonderful art with us.
Yes.
And I think we should try that last tequila.
Yeah, we should, definitely.
We're in Las Palmas for an authentic Mexican fiesta.
Hola, amigos. Have fun.
Gracias.
Every time Tony hits the shot glass right there, tres, you gotta count. 1, 1, 2, 3, andale, okay? So everybody together, help me. Dice, 1, 2, 3, andale. Salud. Salud. Mexican guaco, come on. Salud. There you go. We have a winner tonight. It's John. Thank you very much, amigos.
Local band Chester at Senior Frogs coming up next.
Pero que sea, oh sí, desértica. Pero que sea desértica, oh sí, desértica. solo jardinero, rico del fruto, no como tú que ya estaba recogida y sabes si Dios se anima, pues buena suerte, a ver si nos inspira.
Tell me about your band.
Our name is Chester, and we are from the north of Mexico.
Tell me about your music, and tell me about music in Puerto Vallarta, because the music scene here, I was here 18 years ago. I don't remember this town going off like this.
We play for American people, Canadian people, and Mexican people, so play for everybody.
I mean, he said to me earlier, he said, I don't speak very much English. You speak good English, brother. You speak much better English than I speak Spanish.
Now, come on, I try.
Now, listen already.
Pero que sea desértica, oh sí, desértica. Pero que sea desértica, oh sí, desértica. Pero que sea desértica, oh sí, desértica.
Muchas gracias for tuning in to Next Stop from Puerto Vallarta, a beautiful city with a wonderfully rich culture and fantastic people who are always willing to share their warm stories with you. Now it's your turn to board an Alaska Airlines plane. Come down and experience this culture for yourselves. I also want to say a huge thank you, mucho gracias, to Paco and the staff at MH Tours for putting together a fantastic itinerary for our crew. Also, thanks to Alaska Airlines and the Alaska Airlines Visa Signature Card for your partnership. We'll see you next time on Next Stop. Where will we take you next? Make good memories, everybody.
And then I escaped to work to France, south of France.
Is that where you got the French accent?
Maybe. Yeah. And then the Chicago accent I got in Chicago.
I can totally hear the Chicago.
Oh, yeah. I think I was going to stop.